We fall, we break, we fail. But then, we rise, we heal, we overcome. I choose to live by choice, not by chance. To be motivated, not manipulated. To be useful, not used. To make changes, not excuses. To excel, not compete. I choose self-esteem, not self-pity. I choose to listen to my inner voice, not the random opinions of others. I choose to do the things others will not, so I can continue to do the things others cannot. Fate whispers to the warrior, "You cannot withstand the storm." The warrior replied, "I am the storm."
This is Doc's Daily Dose, and you are a warrior.
Welcome to Doc's Daily Dose. I'm your host, Coach Doc. Yep, I missed last week, and I thought about other reflections I could share or provide an excuse or, I don't know, but maybe tell a story about something that would just be a normal, typical episode. But I decided, let's talk about what's going on. First off, Michelle, really appreciate the message. You're the only one who reached out and was like, waiting, like, when's the episode? You and Tammy. And I just appreciate that kind of love and support. And it's probably the only message you've ever sent me. Not probably, it is the only message you've ever sent me that I didn't respond to, didn't heart, didn't anything, because I was feeling some kind of way. So let's talk about it. First, let me say this. Well, you know what? I'll save that for later. So the couple of, 8-9 weeks prior to last week, I had just been like on point, right? Like I started this 8-week body weight workout challenge. That was 5 days a week and lost this extra weight that I didn't need and then got shredded up. I was meditating every morning. I was reading every morning. I was also doing this, Tesla 369 method, which I've done before in the past. It's where you write something out about, your dreams or vision, but as if they've already been accomplished. So it's written in the past tense. And, it can be as many or as few amount of things as you want. And first thing upon waking up, you write it down 3 times in a row. Then at lunch, around, afternoon, you write it 6 times. And then at night, you write it 9 times. And I was dedicated to it. I went through an entire notebook, about 4 inches thick, writing all of this stuff. No matter what was going on, I was taking it with me. I was carrying it places. And it was just a lot. Like it was, wake up 5 a.m., do my writing, do my meditation, have my morning, prayer or conversation with the universe. Then I would read. Then I would wake my son up, who was playing flag and tackle at the time. And I take him to school. And so I was waking him up a little bit early, and I knew that his body was just kind of being worn down. And so I was like, we need to make sure you're stretching. So I was doing a little bit of exercise in the morning. Then I was stretching with him, getting him breakfast, taking him to school, coming home, doing all of my work. Then I would get a workout in mid-afternoon after I did the 6, writing. Then go pick him up from school. Then finish up whatever work I had, head off to football practice, be gone to football practice, come home, immediately eat, and then would write the 9. And, the 9 took me at least 35 minutes to write because I basically had a paragraph. And then I would stretch with my son again at night, and then it would be bedtime. And Friday, there was no real relaxing because there was so much going on Saturdays. And then Saturday, there was no hanging out and just kind of letting my hair down because Sundays we had games, and then we'd be right back to it on Monday. And the reason I was doing the 369 Tesla was because I had tried it before in the past, but I never really dedicated or committed to it. I did it for a while and was like, this is just burdensome. Like, I don't want to do this. And I stopped. But I was like, I'm going to do it. And just as an experiment, I want to see what happens. I don't think anything's going to fall out of the sky and land in my lap, but I know intellectually and behaviorally, it's orienting me towards my goals, 3 times a day, and each time I'm doing it, twice as much or a third as much. And so I just want to see what kind of focus it gives me. And it gave me a lot of focus, and a ton of opportunities were coming, and like things were just going really, really well. But I forgot my pattern. I forgot my pattern. And my pattern, since I can remember for the longest time, is I get super, super disciplined and on point, and I forget about putting in opportunities for me to rest. I forget about putting in moments and opportunities for me to miss something or take a day off or whatever it may be. And when that happens, at around 8, 9 weeks of being hardcore disciplined and just kind of burning the candle at both ends, but looking great, feeling great, doing a lot of different things, I would hit this funk and be like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then for a week or 2 weeks, I would just not do a damn thing, like nothing. Nothing. No meditation, no conversation with the universe, no reading, wasn't even stretching with my son, wasn't getting my workouts in, was hanging out at night, having drinks, just like, I don't care. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And so that's what happened. And then to pile onto that, while that's going on, where I just kind of like finished this 8-week workout program and I had kind of hit my threshold and hadn't planned for anything like that, knowing my own patterns, I go to the football game and I get into it with a parent. Now, he was intoxicated, and the sideline we were on didn't have stands, so they just put a rope, and like they're literally right there. You can touch a coach or a player. And I just was over him talking, and I told him, shut the F up. Wrong on my part in so many ways. But me emotionally wasn't in the right space. The game didn't go the way I wanted to. I was tired of hearing him from multiple games previous, and in that moment, he was just too close, and I was at a breaking point. Not about him, it was about me. And so then it came time to record the podcast, and I recorded it once, and didn't work. Now, if you saw the one from 2 weeks ago, it stops at some point because I'm like, I don't know what happened, whatever, but I'm not going to fix it. I've tried it 2 or 3 times. So I realized, storage is full. I went in and cleaned out storage, did it again. The microphone didn't pick up. Then I went and did it another time. The next day, microphone still didn't pick up, even though I changed settings, and now it's saying another storage was full. Cleaned out that storage, tried it for a third or fourth time, and mind you, these are like 20-minute episodes where I'm talking to the camera. Who knows? Hell, this may not even come out now. I'm using my personal phone, which is not as good as the iPhone camera, right? But I'm going to be so upset if it doesn't work. But we're in a different space this week. And so I was just like, forget it. I don't care. I'm over it. Like, I don't want to do anything. I don't even want to do this podcast right now. And so that's where I was. And the reflection I took at that was one thing for me, and you, I guess, if you're watching and listening, but also another thing for you. And the first thing is, folks who like to talk like I do on camera about more serious issues, life-related, philosophical, inspirational, personal growth and development, don't be fooled. We don't have it figured out. We don't have it figured out. We've just experimented and tested, or at least I can't even say we. I've just experimented and tested a lot more and do a lot more reflection and thinking than most. And I love to talk, and I love to be in front of an audience. And it's one of the gifts I believe I have, so I share those reflections because I enjoy doing it. It doesn't mean I have shit figured out. It doesn't. I go through the same ups and downs, peaks and valleys, the roller coasters that all of you do. So that's why I never try to tell you you have to do something, or you've got to listen to me, or this is going to be the way your life is going to work out great, which is probably why I haven't sold as many things of my creation that could help people as I would like to, because I don't market them, one. But also, two, like, I'm not telling you it's going to fix anything. Because I don't know. I don't know what type of effort you're going to put into. I don't know what your brain's at. I don't know what you're reflecting upon. I know that it works for me in certain instances, and maybe it can help you. But don't be fooled by anybody sharing things like I share and feel like they've got it figured out. I got to follow them. That's just being real with you. And I hope you appreciate that because I don't want to be anything but real with you at all times. And I still honestly really wasn't feeling doing this one. That's why I didn't get dressed for it. I've been outside for today. I've already got my workout in though. And so yeah, just know that. Take everything with a grain of salt. And the way that I have orchestrated my own personal growth is I read stuff, watch stuff, try stuff, experiment with stuff, and then I take what's useful and I leave what's useless and create my own version and share that with y'all in hopes that you're doing the same thing. And I apologize for whatever sounds like a army platoon coming over here. Hopefully you can't hear that with the microphone. It really does sound like an army platoon though. And the other thing is that I recognize for myself that I guess is a reflection in addition that you can take heed to is recognize your patterns. My pattern is hardcore discipline, then hardcore nothing. I'm even disciplined in doing nothing. Like there was one day during the week where I didn't have anything because our work is on lockdown in the sense of like we're focusing on this one project, but I'm not a part of it. So all I have to do is just shoot on Tuesdays and like that's it. And so I had nothing to do all day, literally nothing. I had finished all the assignments and things I had to do. And like, I was just like, I'm going to lay on the floor in the den and do nothing until I got to go pick somebody up. I might eat, I might not. I don't know. And I wasn't recognizing my own pattern and building in that safe space of grace for myself, which I know better than to do that because I know what that pattern is. I know better than that. So understand your patterns. But the other part of that is in doing the 369 and doing it for as long as I did, where I filled 4-inch thick thing of, college ruled notebook paper, everything handwritten, which I haven't decided if I'm going to go back to it or alter it or make it shorter because it was just a burden to have to do and carry everywhere. And I didn't feel like I was truly invested in it. I just was kind of doing it as a task instead of emotionally feeling it. But one of the things that came out of doing that was something that I already knew intellectually, but I wasn't sure I had ever really felt. And it's something that I consistently pass on to clients or to groups that I'm talking to and sharing with about personal development. When you're talking about change in your life, being disciplined, fitness routine, meditation, reading, journaling, working on a creative project, just focusing on saving money, being financially responsible, not drinking, not hanging out, whatever it may be. It's not about changing you. And I feel like I always knew that and I've expressed that sentiment, but it never landed emotionally and spiritually for me. It only landed intellectually. It wasn't about changing me. The discipline of the meditation, the reading, the workout, the conversations, the 369, the stretching with my son, the football, all that, those are just habits and things I do. And I know that the saying is you are what you constantly do, right? But I don't believe that. I think the things you do shape and mold a perspective that you have and a lens or frame in which you see the world. But who I am is how I treat my family. It's how I treat you as a listener and viewer, with being honest with you. It's how I treat other people in the street. It's how I treated that dad who I told shut the fuck up. Right? I have a breaking point, and I can't stand people being disrespectful and intoxicated in situations that shouldn't be. Those are all me. The guy going to practice and pulling the kid aside and saying, hey, I need you to understand that I value my relationships based off the interactions I have with that person. So whatever interaction I have with people on the peripheral that are tied to you has no bearing on how I feel about you. I still got love for you. That's me. Right? Me working out, me meditating. Those are just actions. Do I gain insights and reflections from those actions that may change my perspective and have me approach people in a different way? Sure. But they're just methods. that enhance outcomes. But who I am, there's nothing that needs to be changed. Nothing. And I don't think there's anything that needs to be changed about you. Because I think all of us inherently know what the good in us is. And we want that to come out. For some, it's harder than others. So, as you go through your journey of personal growth, I don't want you to think about it as a new you or changing who you are and you have to be something different. No, just your actions have to be different. And you have to understand your actions and understand where they lead you and understand where they derail you. But that's not you. It's just things you do. The you is the person that looks in the mirror and either smiles or cries. And last week, I wanted to cry. This week, I'm back to smiling. And that hitting home for me on an emotional, spiritual level was necessary. It just was. And so, I hope you understand why I didn't post last week. I hope you appreciate my honesty and my reflections. And I hope that if you are crying when you look in the mirror or feel like it, that you go a little deeper and recognize your actions will help you change that perspective, but that person who's sad within you can also be the same person who's happy within you. But it's still you, just doing different things. So I guess we're back. I appreciate you. Thanks for listening. Again, Michelle, thank you for the message, the love and support. Much love always.
Be grateful for adversity, for it forces the human spirit to grow. For surely, the human character is formed not in the absence of difficulty, but in our response to difficulty.
Thank you for listening to Doc's Daily Dose. I truly appreciate you. The ability to be honest and show strength and vulnerability doesn't happen without you pressing play. If you've got any suggestions, any ideas, or simply want to help make this show bigger and better, at the end of the show notes here, please feel free to donate and support Doc's Daily Dose. If you've got any questions that you want me to answer on the podcast, well, hit me up. A simple email, coachdoc@muchlovealways.com. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter on muchlovealways.com and check out anything else on the website. Again, I'm truly thankful for you. Much love always.